The Hong Kong government tells the citizens to smile more to attract tourists. A man is arrested for having sex with a train seat in St. Louis. And a 105-year-old woman earns her master's degree from Stanford. These are the weird stories for Monday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast recorded by a comedian inside a closet. Hong Kong tells its citizens to smile more to increase tourism. Yes, guys, smile more. After all, you're all on camera all the time. Hong Kong is struggling to revive its tourism economy post-pandemic. And it's struggling in the wake of the Beijing influence crackdown on the citizens' civil liberties. They've taken a new approach to trying to woo some visitors, to woo some tourists to Hong Kong. They're trying to curb their citizens' reputation for being rude. I had no idea they had a reputation for being rude. I don't even know why you'd be so rude. After all, the government's only squashing your civil liberties over there. Why such a sourpuss, guys? Come on. You got a lot to be pleased with. Earlier this week, the Hong Kong government launched a new campaign to promote smiling and politeness. We have a tourism secretary named Kevin Young who says they have a handful of black sheep that have made headlines for certain behavior that tarnishes their image. He claims that there are certain areas in which they need to improve, such as service staff at restaurants need to be more friendly. And he says they get a lot of complaints about the city's taxi industry, saying that they're very rude as well. This guy announced a multi-department effort to reverse this reputation of being unhappy and rude. They're going to promote programs to teach courtesy to students. They're going to organize community activities to encourage friendliness and happiness with potential reward schemes for good performance. This is great. Smile or I'll poke you with a stick. Okay, now clap. I want to hear some giggling. Now everybody sing, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. Come on, sing. When you see a tourist, I want Rick Astley. Come on, I want the visitors to know they're welcome in Hong Kong. Never gonna give you a frown. If you come to Hong Kong now. This is not the first time Hong Kong has tried to solve its perceived attitude problem. It says here similar politeness campaigns were launched in the 90s and early 2000s as well. But the city has struggled to see their pre-pandemic level of tourists return to the city, even after the strict measures against inbound travel were lifted. It says here the decline in visitor numbers has strangely coincided with Hong Kong's shifting political landscape. Could that be a clue? With arrivals beginning to dip after major pro-democracy protests in 2019 and the subsequent quelling of dissent of any anti-China sentiment within the city. And considering all that, it seems like a strange solution by the tourism secretary to just kind of concentrate on getting the citizens to be more polite and to perform their service duties in a more hospitable manner to the tourists. Maybe work on your treatment of your citizens. How about that? Now, I'm not too familiar with Hong Kong. I haven't been. It's one of the places I look forward to going to. I'm going to tell you a little something about Hong Kong to give you an idea of how the government is, because I looked into performing stand-up comedy in Hong Kong, and of all the places in Asia that you can perform comedy, Hong Kong, they require you to submit your material first on paper. They have to approve it to make sure you're not saying anything that's like anti-government or whatever. So this sort of gives you an idea of how the government is infringing upon people's rights. I'm just giving you a slice of it in the world of art, how you don't have true artistic freedom over there. You can imagine some of the other areas that this trickles into. Now, the article ends with another quote from this tourist secretary. He seems to be aware of the immense task before him. He says, quote, "The hospitality movement cannot solve all of society's problems, but the spirit is what counts. The spirit, so come on, everybody, let's have a swell time. Why isn't anyone having a swell time? I've ordered you all to have a swell time. Show them that you're happy. Never gonna give, never gonna give. Come on. A man is arrested for having sex with a train seat on the Metrolink. I guess this guy literally rode the train. Stories out of St. Louis, Missouri. A week after being released from jail for some sex offenses, a man is accused of having sex with a seat on a Metrolink train. St. Louis County prosecutors charged 38-year-old D'Angelo Antoine Covington. That's a great name. He's charged with first-degree sexual misconduct, and he's in the county jail on a cash-only bond situation. The courts have ordered him not to be allowed on the train if he even gets out. I mean, you can't really allow him to go anywhere if he's having sex with a train seat. What else what's off the menu for this guy Covington? I'm sure trees he'd be into, park benches, never mind the living organisms that are within his grasp. I love how we love to solve our problems in the most reactionary manner in the U.S., just not really getting to the root of what's going on. This guy's arrested for humping a train seat, and now they're like, all right, you're not allowed on any more trains. Like, like he's not going to go into Walmart and hump a tricycle. Like, what do you... It's like the way we have to take our shoes off to get on the plane. You know, one guy uses shoes for a bomb, and now we're all taking our shoes off. If someone wants to put a bomb on the plane, they'll find another way to do it, bro. Are you stupid? According to a St. Louis County Police probable cause statement, we have some details here. A Metrolink driver parked the train at the Lambert Airport Station and stepped off for a few minutes. When he returned, Covington was on the train, allegedly engaging in sex with the train seat with his genitals exposed. Yeah, that's usually how it happens. The genitals are exposed. He's obviously got a problem here. I mean, who looks at a train seat is like, oh, look at that sexy-ass train seat there. Oh, tell me that train seat don't want it. Looking all worn, but still soft in experience, and definitely has had a lot of ass. The driver, get this, the driver continued on the route, kept driving as the defendant continued his activity until he deboarded the train at the Hanley station. The defendant's activity is all captured on video surveillance, and a moment of silence for everybody who had to witness that, and the train conductor. Strange the train conductor just didn't stop, called the police, just kept going. The train conductor's like, hey, look, I don't want a Metro kink shame. If this is his thing, if he's a train sexual, let him do his thing. Police say in the statement that Covington was arrested for assaulting a nurse at the jail as well. Okay, so this guy needs to be wrangled and probably shouldn't see the light of day anytime soon unless you can... I don't know. What do they do? That they do the forced castration thing. That they do that in certain states for child molesters. So it sounds to me like would be something that might solve this problem. I don't know, but there's also something going on in his head that's not okay either. And I can't wrap my head around what's going on in his head, and I don't even know if I should try. It's a strange world we live in, guys, and I don't know if I understand it. But people like this don't obey laws. I mean, you know, because we probably need some laws to protect some of the inanimate objects that are getting molested all over the world, and we don't have such things, really. Not that they would work. This guy's out there touching anything. Oh, this feels like warm apple pie. Oh, this feels like warm apple pie. Oh, my God, this fire hydrant, just like warm apple pie.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Yay!
A woman earns her master's degree at the age of 105. This is a very uplifting story. I had to get on it because the majority of the stories I'm doing on Weird AF News would make you lose complete faith in humanity. But here we have a woman named Virginia Hislop. Now, it took Virginia 83 years to get her master's degree from Stanford University. Now, at 105 years old, Virginia has finally graduated. Here's a quote from Virginia. I'm sure she's a lovely woman with goals. Still goals. Imagine having big goals after you're a centennial. She says, "My goodness, I've waited a long time for this." She walked across the stage on Sunday to receive her diploma. She was cheered on by her family and their grandchildren, part of the 2024 graduating class. Good for Virginia. Says Virginia's educational journey at Stanford began in 1936. Way back then, she enrolled to study for her bachelor's degree in education. A few years later, she completed that milestone and immediately transitioned to her postgraduate studies, driven by her ambition to actually teach at Stanford University. Now, cut to 1941, Virginia, like many other women across the U.S., was forced to trade her career for marriage in support of the broader war mobilization. Her husband, George, was called to serve in the Second World War, making Virginia unable to complete her thesis. She had to put it all on hold and her university days behind her, and she raised a family. After the war ended, Virginia and her husband moved to Yakima, Washington, where they raised their children. Virginia says, "I didn't return to teaching, but I feel I put my teaching certificate to good use, serving in committees and on boards, trying to improve the educational opportunities every chance I got." Indeed, Virginia's formal education might have ended in 1941 with her early departure from Stanford, but her work in the following years was instrumental and transformative. For instance, she raised funds for Heritage University, a female-founded and led institution. Also helped collect millions of dollars for students hoping to attend the school. A scholarship at Pacific Northwest University even bears her name. So she's been very, very busy. We have Daniel Schwartz, the dean of Stanford's Graduate School of Education, who described Virginia as, quote, "a fierce advocate for equity and the opportunity to learn." He handed her the deserved red diploma all those years later. Oh, don't you love this? This woman is amazing. This should let you all know, even when the chips are down, don't give up, man. Yeah, maybe it's not in the cards for you right now, but you keep at it. Keep grinding away. Look at me, guys. Look at me. I'm a great example, too. 20 years of doing stand-up comedy, and I got a show tonight at a bar on Sunset Boulevard. I'll get 2 drink tickets. I mean, I'm crushing it in life because I never gave up, guys. I didn't throw in the towel. 15 years in, still not making any money, still not that funny. I just kept grinding away, guys, And since then, I've done some amazing shows at bowling alleys, laundromats. I mean, I did a show it was a college for the blind. Yeah. I'm out there, guys, is what I'm saying. Just like Virginia. I'm out there and I'm doing it. And so I say to you, my loyal listener of the Weird AF News podcast, you got some goals you put on the back shelf for a little while? Is it the back shelf or the back seat? I don't know what you're supposed to say there. Have you put some things on pause? Well, hey, maybe revisit them. It's never too late. This lady at 105 getting a master's degree. It's never too late, guys. Yay! Hello, my friends and my loyal listeners of the Weird AF News podcast. Just FYI, I don't take your attention for granted. There's over 2 million podcasts out there. There's a lot of media out there that's battling in an intense race for your attention, and you've given some to me. And so I just want you to know how much I appreciate that. I'm going to keep the outro very, very brief. I'll let you know that you can email me stories that you think are appropriate for the podcast to funnyjones@gmail.com. You can also use that destination to drop Jonesy a little message of hello, maybe an introduction, or maybe a critique. It's all right. Try not to be too harsh with me. I'm a little sensitive. I have a phone number here. You could leave a voicemail as well, 646-450-2012. Please don't swear. And introduce yourself on the voicemail. We want to know where you're from. We want to know what your name is. We want to anticipate that you're going to be calling often. So we want to kind of get an ongoing appreciation of what you're doing when you're leaving messages. If you want to support the show because you happen to be a gazillionaire, let's say you're in tech, or maybe you struck oil in your front yard over the weekend. It's possible. Maybe you built an app and all of a sudden it's really taking off. It's probably a pornographic app because those seem to take off more than others. Nonetheless, maybe you had this unexpected windfall of ducats and you don't know what to do with it. well, consider supporting a one-man production inside a closet. A guy who's doing a podcast 5 days a week for very little money and is up over 1,700 episodes now. Why not support a guy who's dedicated to his quote-unquote craft? You can do so by going to the official website, weirdafnews.com, and you can join the Patreon or you can buy me a coffee. It's a good way to do it. Or if you have the time and you don't have the money, which many of us don't, so you can tell a friend about the show or leave a review on either Amazon or Apple Podcasts, also known as iTunes. If you're listening on Spotify, you can just leave me 5 stars. That would be super appreciative. Anyways, I'll see you tomorrow, and good luck with your life, man.